IPMNation.com.
It's that time again, Matt Connarton Unleashed. We're live on WMNH 95.3 FM, emanating from a very, very hot, humid downtown Manchester, New Hampshire, on WMNH 95.3, as well as Comcast 97 in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org. And, of course, on Facebook via Facebook Live on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. Today is Wednesday, June 19th, 2019, and I'm not alone. That's Eazy-G. His time is now.
Yeah. Have you checked out this new place at Matt Temple Food Mart?
Nope, because we already have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Well, because I dialed twice and it said first your number was disconnected and the second time your voicemail was not activated or couldn't take any more calls.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if you
I'm
call,
in Ohio.
If you call while there's
my name is Sue Stewart.
Hi, can I answer that?
And I'm just
Hello,
wondering
Sue?
if
Can you
could
hear me
do
at all?
more shows on how the fake opioid crisis is affecting all the millions of people who are in chronic pain, and or, oh God, I see you putting your hand over your head. Or remind people.
That's Eazy-G. That's not me. Oh, did you actually? Oh, you're actually listening to me.
I just wondered, since you do a live show,
right? I've actually
you could remind people that there is a rally at the CDC in Georgia this Friday.
No, the reason I didn't answer the phone earlier was because you were calling while the music was still playing. So I can't talk. I can't talk to you while there's still all kinds of music playing. But no, that was Eazy-G putting his hand on his head, and that wasn't in response to you. But we have done some shows on the opioid thing, and we will do more in the future because I agree with you. The government has done. Let's call it what it is. The government has killed people by forcing people off.
Many, and the CDC had no rights, according to if you go through government channels. The CDC didn't have the right. I don't even know how to word it other than the right. It wasn't their job. And they're the ones who put out the false narrative back in 2016 that have now caused doctors to be locked up and pain patients yanked off their meds.
Absolutely.
And suicides and deaths from quick withdrawal. I mean, when you've taken a patient, like me, who's been on these meds for 20 years and then say, sorry, can't give them to you anymore, the body shuts down.
That's what happened. That's what happened with my mother. My mother went through it, and
well, that's how I figured I somehow keep getting notifications of your show.
Right.
Yeah, I've watched a few, and they were about pain, and then there's other government things, and I thought, well, the only reason I must have got these notifications is because he did something about pain.
Right. Yeah, and we've had Dr. Red Lawhern on a couple of times, and
and another doctor to really, if you could ever get a hold of him, is Dr. Mark Ibsen, Ibsen, out of Montana, who went through his license being yanked away and all this crap. And then they finally gave him his license back, but he's no longer allowed to prescribe opioids.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a nurse practitioner in Michigan, who they just did the same thing to, only she's going through trial now. And there's another doctor who they took everything from, including patients' medical records, which means it's hard to find a new doctor if you don't have the medical records to back you up.
Right.
And mine go back 30 years, and hospitals don't keep those records.
Right.
Yeah. So for me to find some of them again are impossible, even 10 years back.
Yeah.
So this is getting crazy, and I don't see any relief in sight other than, like many people, suicide or just death from sudden yanking of the medicines. And I'm sorry it happened to your mom.
Yeah, and my mom's okay. She's dealing with it, but and she got approved for medical cannabis and all this. But it's it's a brutal problem, and it's
it's horrible.
I don't consider myself a full libertarian because I think government's necessary. But this is an example of where the libertarians are right. Government does some really, really hideous, evil things to people. And and
illegal
they need to
overreach,
they need to keep their noses out of this.
There's supposed to be these HIPAA laws in effect, yet they go in and grab all these patients' records.
Mm-hmm.
Where's HIPAA then?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then they don't give them back to them. So the patients are screwed. The HIPAA laws are being broken.
Mm-hmm.
And just so much, I would love to be able to sit down with President Trump and say, look, yes, we have an opioid crisis, but I'm 61 years old. I have a brother who was in Vietnam. I know we have had an opioid crisis for freaking ever.
Mm-hmm.
This is nothing new.
Yeah.
But to all of a sudden blame doctors and punish pain patients is just... I actually had one of the last neurosurgeons I saw tell me to start drinking alcohol.
Jeez, wow.
Because I said, I'm beginning... I don't drink.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm beginning to think about becoming an alcoholic because you keep taking and tapering till I have nothing. He goes, oh, go ahead. That's much better than opioids.
Wow.
I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, serious. Because I thought he was joking.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, yeah, alcohol, much safer. He was a foreign doctor. But I'm like, no, it's not.
Right.
But, I'm grateful for you, and I'm glad that you do shows.
Oh, thank you, Sue.
And
thank you.
I just wanted to see if you'd remind that there is a protest this Friday at the CDC in Georgia.
So that's
because all the local protests we've had, like in Ohio, I know some of the other states had better turnout, but we had 5 people.
Oh, no.
In blizzards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it just made us look like drug seekers.
Right.
When 5 people show up.
Oh, yeah.
And we're right across the street from Channel 10 News. They didn't even bother walking across the street.
Yeah.
And when we went inside to get warm, we got kicked out of an underground tunnel. It was a freaking blizzard, the last one. Not this one we just had, but the one back in February.
Yeah, yeah.
And we got kicked out of the tunnel, and I said, can't we stay here till we can at least feel our toes again? Nope, you have to leave now. And at least 5 Ohio State police made sure we left now.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you told us about the rally because I will absolutely.
Thank you.
I will. No, I want to. I didn't know about it. I mean, there's with so much going on, it's hard to keep track of everything. So I didn't know about it. But now I do, and
many don't.
We need to keep the pressure on.
The problem is those of us like me who can't even stand a 20-minute drive in the car.
Yeah.
Are not going to make it.
Right.
People in real pain can't go because it's a 10-hour drive, a 12-hour drive, or like a 3-hour flight.
Yeah, so you're in Ohio.
But even that, our closest airport's 2 hours away.
Yeah, yeah.
So the worstest patients can't go.
Right,
if that makes sense.
No, it absolutely does. It absolutely does. And no, we got to keep the pressure on, Sue. And no, I really appreciate your call. Sorry I got frustrated earlier. It's just that
it's okay. I didn't know. Neither did you.
We do a lot of, and you didn't. I know you didn't mean to not listen. We do a lot of politics on the show, and we have certain callers who like to call, and they start to filibuster, and they don't want to hear anything I say in response to them, and I don't mean to take that out on you. I just, okay, because I
get so much taken out on me now. What's one more? What the hell?
Well, here's the thing, though. Now I know your voice, so now I know the next time you call, and I want you to keep in touch.
All right.
and remind me.
I will try.
And now
I'm glad to hear that there's more. We've been getting so much bad press instead of good press.
Yeah. So now I know your voice. So I know when you call, okay, this is
Thank
Sue.
You.
And if she doesn't hear me, that's okay. Because we want to.
I heard you.
No, but I mean, but we want to.
I got my computer on mute so I can talk to you on the phone.
Yeah. No, great.
But thank you very much.
All right, Sue. Thank you for the
Been
call.
Meaning to call you for weeks, and I just happened to sit down while you were going live.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you did, and please stay in touch, and I will continue to remind people about that rally.
Thank you so much.
All right, you got it, my friend.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. All right, there you go. So that, I feel bad for getting snappy with her, actually, but you understand, Eazy-G. Not that you would ever call and not listen to the host. You should pull that mic up a little bit, Eazy-G.
Oh yeah, that was a serious.
This ain't your first rodeo, my friend.
True. This is a serious topic to start out the show with. But
yes,
sometimes it's necessary.
Yes, absolutely. Let's see. So I'm glad, and I'm glad she talked about the rally, and I'm gonna look up details on that a little bit later, and I'll probably remind people later on in the show too, because that is an issue that's very personal to me because of my mom. Just quickly in the Facebook live chat. So hello to Rocky Huber, Chris Rose, Scott Steele is in there. I think that's a new name in the Facebook live chat. Hello, Scott. Rocky says, Eazy-G looks intimidating in that muscle shirt. It's those giant arms. That's what years of anabolic steroids will do for you. Hello to Peter White from the morning show with Peter White. Jenny is in there as well. Hello to Derek Relaford, and Dr. Jeff Cassell joins us. So
it was weird, the morning show. I don't know if you happen to listen. Gagnon had the day off.
Yes, well, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's in his contract. Peter has to give him, I think it's 5 days off per quarter.
If I remember the story, I think he had a doctor visit this morning. So.
Oh, like that's an excuse.
He's got a shoulder surgery next week, I believe. So.
Where are his priorities that Daryl Dion? My goodness.
I think he's going under the knife on the 27th.
Under the knife. It cuts like a knife. Remember that song? Do you like Bryan Adams?
Then he's looking forward to doing some golfing once he's healed.
Oh.
Because he can't golf right now because his shoulder hurts too much, he said.
Oh. Well, very good. Are they going to make him bionic? Is he going to have a bionic shoulder?
No, he's hoping.
They can rebuild him.
He's hoping.
Yes. What's on your mind today, Eazy-G?
The only golf I like is the mini golf. I never really tried the
mini golf. Yes. Isn't that for little kids?
Okay, any ages. But I haven't gone in a while.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking the lady called have you checked out this new place?
Her name's Sue. She has a name, Eric, please.
Oh, sorry, Sue.
Yes.
Sue called Temple Food Mart. Have you been there?
I've not been there to Temple Food Mart.
Yeah, I want to go there because it's right down the street, I guess, from where I used to live on Calif Road. So
yeah,
sounds like an interesting place. It's the rebirth of Temple Food Mart.
You can never have too many food marts. There's a food mart off of Exit 5 on 93. It's fantastic. You can get Cheez-Its, and you can get carbonated beverages there.
And it's always important when you know the address. So.
You can get those, those little mini donuts in the packages. They're only $1. I get those sometimes late at night. They help keep me awake.
Yeah, you got some fun events there. You got special events here.
You got events. Oh, it's like an entertainment report.
Christmas trees.
Christmas trees. It's only June, Eazy-G.
Well, true, but they'll probably have some at Christmas.
It's only June, and we're in here sweating our proverbial, to use the Greek term, testicles off.
Well, pretty soon, you never know.
I don't mean literally. I mean hyperbolically. Mine are still attached. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Eazy-G.
Christmas will be around the corner.
Christmas is not around the corner, Eazy-G. Christmas is like 3 miles away in a separate city at the moment. How dare you?
Lady at Kmart always used to do the
Lady at
countdown.
Kmart, she has a name.
I forget her name. But
her name is Rebecca.
She always gives me the countdown.
I'm sorry. I think her name's Veronica. The lady at Kmart?
Yeah, she always gives the countdown every month. She goes, it's only 10 months to Christmas. Always her favorite day.
I believe her name is Deborah.
Oh, all right.
I know who you're talking about.
I like Christmas, too.
Right. Brandy, I think is her name. The lady at Kmart.
Yeah.
Brandy
Older
from
lady.
Kmart, yeah.
She's probably not even with us.
Oh, the older lady. Oh, that's Carmela.
Years ago, so.
You're talking about Carmela. She's actually dead.
Carmela.
She's actually dead now. She died today. Yeah, since the last time you saw her.
Well, that was one of the...
You're probably the last person she interacted with at Kmart, Eazy-G, and now she's dead.
That's the guy who used to do the singing there Wednesday at noontime there. What's that guy's name? Sold the ice cream here at Doubletree Hotel.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He sang here on Channel 23. It was Ryan Gorman's favorite singer.
Ryan Gorman's favorite singer, Mel Torme?
No, he sang here on Channel 23. It was an older fella.
Didn't Mel Torme appear on Channel 23 once?
Ted Gassis yelled at him one time because he brought his music and started singing at City Hall. In 3 minutes, he went like 13 minutes.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'll tell you what. You know, some of these singers, you give them 3, they'll take 10.
I felt really bad because he was just an old guy. He wanted to have some fun at City Hall, and the mayor yelled at him.
Oh, well. Yeah, just some old guy. He has a name, you know. It's Mel Torme.
No,
Mel Torme's old. That's probably him.
No, he used to be on Wednesdays at noontime.
Actually, Mel Torme is probably dead. That was probably his last public appearance.
He's no longer with us. I forget his name. I don't know if you remember.
That's why I'm saying he's dead. It's got to be Mel Torme.
Well, if Ryan Gorman's listening in the Facebook Live room, see if he remembers that guy's name.
I didn't see his name pop up in there. Hello to Rhonda Ostrowitz-Favero in the Facebook Live chat.
I know a Rhonda, but it's not the same Rhonda I'm thinking.
It's a common name. There's even a song, Help Me Rhonda.
I don't know if it's a really common name because I've only known one Rhonda.
When I went to school, Eazy-G, there were like 15 Rhondas in my class.
Really? I only know one.
I'm exaggerating, of course. There are only 13.
Oh.
I'm sorry I exaggerated, Eazy-G.
I hate that when I forget the guy's name.
You're forgetting all kinds of names today.
My boss Nicole says when you get older, you forget things.
Oh, is that what she says? How old is she?
She's about the same age as me because she graduated 86.
So she's like early 70s?
No, she graduated 86, same year as me. So
I'm bad at math.
50, 51.
Yeah, she called the show yesterday.
Yeah, I know that. She showed me the video.
Yes. I think she's, she didn't come right out and say it, but I think she's very jealous of the Goldenrod jingle that I wrote and kind of wants me to. I felt like she was sort of hinting a little bit that she wants me to write a similar one for Creamland. I just don't know if I feel the same level of inspiration and the same spark of creativity.
I did ask her about getting a T-shirt for you.
Oh, and what did she say?
She's going to work on that.
She's going to work on it? What's there to work on? Can't she just pull one out of a box and hand?
You don't have any on stock right now.
She has to order one special. Oh, well. Yeah, well, that's. I hate to bring this up, Eazy-G.
I asked for one.
I hate to bring this up,
me either.
But I don't remember ever hearing about Goldenrod running out of T-shirts. Have you ever heard of Goldenrod running out of T-shirts? No, it seems like they always have them at the ready.
Peter White, Goldenrod Peter White.
Oh, yes, Goldenrod Peter. Yes.
Both said they would wear one on the air, so Peter White says extra large, and Daryl said large.
Well, I don't think he'll be Goldenrod Peter anymore. If he's wearing a Creamland shirt, I think he'll be Creamland Peter.
Yeah, that's what they told me. So, I told them I'd do my best to get one.
There was a character named Creamland Peter in a film I saw once many years ago on VHS.
Really?
Yes. Hello to Bob Burrell, also known as Bobby B, in the Facebook Live chat. What kind of movies do you like, Eazy-G? Are you excited about Toy Story 4?
I've seen all the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
They were really good. I have Toy Story 1 and 2 on DVD. I get to throw it in my DVD player any day. I have watched them out a couple times over.
Yeah. Do you have any old VHS tapes?
I do not. I threw them all away.
You threw them away?
I did.
Why would you do that?
I had like 300 of them.
Any day now, VHS is coming back. Hey, did you know that audio cassettes came back? There are actually bands on Bandcamp.com right here in the state of New Hampshire that are selling audio cassettes of their music. Audio cassettes,
I don't miss
Eazy-G.
them. I used to have like 300 of them. I don't miss them.
You don't miss that hissing sound that they make or the way they break if you play them too many times? No. I always thought that was part of the charm.
No.
I used to make, something Peter White and I have in common. We both used to make tape recordings of radio shows when we were kids. Did you ever do that, Eazy-G?
No, I remember recording some music, but it wasn't really a mixtape. It was just some music.
So you never made like recordings of yourself doing an entertainment report just for fun?
No. I don't remember doing that, no.
Okay.
It wasn't in my brain back then.
And yet it was your destiny.
I don't know about that, but
is that too strong? It was your calling?
I don't know.
It was your
I like doing it. It's fun.
Yes. Do you do an entertainment report at Creamland?
No.
Do they do any kind of meetings there? Do they do like a morning meeting where everyone has to gather around and Nicole, your boss, she like talks about the daily specials or stuff?
They have the thing on. They have a big list, and you cross it off when you're done.
They have a big list, like a checklist?
Checklist of things that need to be done.
Oh. I know what doesn't.
On a big piece of paper.
I know one thing that's not on that checklist.
T-shirts.
Well, that should be on there. I was referring to cleaning the bathroom.
Oh, I don't know whose job that is, but so far as
wait. I thought there was no bathroom.
No, there's a bathroom for the employees only.
Oh, there is a bathroom there.
Can't expect the employees to hold it all day.
So if I went, okay, well that's good. So if I went to Creamland and I said, "Pardon me," because there's always places, right, Eazy-G? There's always these places where they don't have a public restroom, but if you have an emergency situation, they'll make an exception. So let's say, hypothetically, you're working at Creamland, and I go there, and I'm the customer, and I say to you, "Excuse me, Eazy-G, I have an emergency. I just ate some of this delicious Creamland food, and now I desperately need to evacuate my bowels, and I can't hold it." Would you then say, "Okay, sir," and I'd be like, "Sir, you know me, dude. I'm Matt." And you'd be like, "Okay, Matt, let me take you back. Actually, no, let me check with Nicole and see what she says." And I'd be standing there like, doing the pee-pee dance and whatever and being like, "No, Eric, I really, really got to go. Could you just take me to the bathroom?" And you'd be like, "Well, okay, but I better not get in trouble for this, mister." And I'd be like, "Okay, but I really, really need to go." Like, would I be able to use the bathroom then?
I don't know. That's the boss's call. It's over my pay scale.
Right.
You ever heard that joke?
I don't think it's a joke. I think it's just an expression.
Yeah, it's not really a good one, though.
Yeah.
I hate it when people say that.
I do, too. When I hear people say that, I become enraged.
I was waiting for the bus there. I was going to save that story for the radio.
Hang on, Eazy-G. Hold your story for just a moment. Because Peter White from the Morning Show with Peter White is in the Facebook live chat, and he's asking, what's up with the tank top?
It's hot.
It's to show off your guns.
Yeah, there you go.
Your enormous arms.
Well, anyways, I'm waiting for the bus, and you're supposed to pull over when the emergency fire trucks come by. So I'm waiting for the bus to go by, and this truck just kept on going. It was a business truck, and it came within seconds of hitting that fire truck.
Oh my goodness!
It could have been a fatal.
Did you run and put yourself between that truck and the fire truck?
No, but the fire truck, they're on
That's
their way.
That's what I would have done.
They were on their way to emergency. It could have been some guy passed out. It could have been a big fire.
Right.
You're supposed to pull over. That's the law.
I know.
But this guy just kept on going like he was in a rush. He had to go somewhere.
Right.
Maybe he was, but you're supposed to pull that. You're supposed to pull aside. Fire emergency truck comes first. Ambulance.
Well, he was probably rushing to get to Goldenrod because he knows there's a bathroom there he can use. He probably had to use the bathroom.
Oh, he was headed the wrong way because he was headed towards the mall.
Oh. Well, he's probably new to the area. Rocky Huber says, "Hey, Peter, I think you should take him for a tan. LOL, his arms are as white as that cup next to him." You do have very pale arms there, Eazy-G. Not that I should talk. I also am quite pale. What are you doing? Are you taking some sort of pills?
Oh, this is a acid reflux medication.
I don't know if FCC regulations allow for the consuming or consumption, I should say, of acid reflux medication during a live broadcast on FM terrestrial radio. There's a lot that can go wrong.
It's all done.
All right. Well, if you get fined, you're gonna have to ask Nicole for a raise. Bobby B says, damn, Eazy-G, should start calling him Casper, because you're so pale.
Well, better to be pale than get a round of skin cancer like my friend Peter the Pumpkin Eater got years ago.
Well, that's...
Stop days on his face.
He got... that's terrible. That happened to my mother.
That hurt like...
Now, so his last name, the Pumpkin Eater, is that like hyphenated?
Oh, that's just a nursery rhyme. Peter the Pumpkin Eater lost his wife because he couldn't keep her. My friend Michael Levine used to say, God rest his soul.
That's an even longer name.
Yeah, you know him forever. Obviously, he doesn't know anymore because he's passed. But
right, yeah,
his real name is Peter Fleming.
Peter Fleming.
He's been on the couch before, as far as the guest.
Wait a minute. So he's actually been he was a guest on the morning show?
Oh, many times.
And
not lately though. But
and now he's dead?
No, Peter Fleming is still with us. But Mike Levine, who gave that nursing ride, doing it for a ton of years. Called him Peter the Pumpkin Eater, lost his wife because he couldn't keep her.
Okay, so just to be clear, so the guy who was a guest who sat on the couch is still alive?
Yes.
Good, because I have to tell you something, Eazy-G. The idea that there was someone who once sat on that couch who's dead now gives me the willies.
I don't think that's happened yet today to the guest.
Right. I think so far, everyone who's been on that couch is still alive.
Speaking of guests, a shout out to John Clayton. I saw him at the basket again.
And he's alive, correct?
Yes, I reminded him to see you Saturday for the Fisher Cat Relay for Life game, which I got 17 people coming.
Eazy-G. Peter White in the Facebook live chat says, dude, cover up. I can see your nipple.
No.
We've had a nip slip here on the show. No. This is terrible. Now, that's going to get us in trouble with the FCC for sure. Remember what happened with Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl? It turned everything upside down.
Yeah, that was prearranged.
The way things are going, I'm expecting Justin Timberlake to come running in here and rip your tank top. And
Justin Timberlake's career skyrocketed after that. And Janet Jackson's career really didn't go anywhere too recently, and she made the Hall of Fame, which is great. So.
I don't think his career skyrocketed after that. He was already pretty much like the biggest act in the world.
Yeah, but that thing was all prearranged ahead of time.
Rocky Huber says, pills and nipples shake my head.
Oh, boy.
By the way, that was in high school. Some friends and I had a pop punk band called Pills and Nipples.
Huh. You were in, 100 different bands? Wow.
I was in 178 different bands, Eazy-G.
I believe it.
No, that's wrong. I'm sorry. I forgot one. I was in 179 different bands.
What did you play in the band?
I played bass.
Really?
Yes.
Did you sing it like...
it's not that impressive, Eazy-G. You sound super impressed.
Did you do any singing?
Yeah, background vocals, no lead.
Because I know you're just great in that Golden Rod Chick.
Oh, yeah. I was hoping you'd request that. Let's see.
I didn't really request it.
Well, clearly you wanted me to perform it live, or you wouldn't have brought it up. I mean, I am happy to, I'm happy to oblige Eazy-G. Let's see. I just have to find.
I never asked for it.
I just have to find the music for it, and then I've been adding to it little by little. Let's see. I think, is this the right one?
Yeah,
here we go. Will you sing with me? You know the words, right? Sing along if you know the words. All right, here we go. Here it comes. Goldenrod, I really like your food and your ice cream. So much better than Creamland. So much better than Creamland. Better than Creamland.
You are getting a little better.
I really like that you have a bathroom. Don't want to poop in a bucket. And that's what I have to do at Creamland. At Creamland, Goldenrod. I'm gonna, my throat. I've been singing that song so much lately. My throat needs a rest. So I'm gonna. That's the radio edit. Eazy-G. Are you all right? You look like you're getting a headache.
What does Jenny think of that Goldenrod?
She
song?
loves it. It's her favorite song. She thinks it's brilliant.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I had a feeling that I think you saying that one time, Jenny was here, and I think she told you it was awful.
I don't remember that. I have no recollection of that whatsoever, sir. How dare you? I understand, though, you don't want me to get a big head because, about my jingle writing ability.
One big head in the room now.
That's true. Yeah, we both have big heads. You've got kind of a weird blockhead kind of thing going, and I just have a big Irish melon. My head is round. Yours is more like a block. like a cement block.
Oh, boy.
No, I don't mean that. Hey, it's not mean for me to say that because I'm making fun of my own head, too. My own head is huge.
Yeah.
I can barely fit in the door. I got this giant Irish head. I look like a South Park character. What else is on your mind today, Eazy-G?
Oh, yeah, I was looking online the other day how that guy, Ric Flair, is doing. Woo!
Oh, yes. He almost died.
Again. His health is not the best.
Well, you know, he's lived
too many years of drinking.
A lot of hard living, a lot of drinking, yes.
Well, he admitted like a year ago that he was a big-time alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping he's laying off the liquor. If not, he's going to be dead soon.
That's what. Well, I hope not. We can't lose the nature boy.
True, but if he continues to drink, that's where he's headed.
Think he's got one more match in him?
No.
No, probably not.
He's 70 now.
Well, that's okay.
This is a wheelchair match.
Oh, he's not in a wheelchair.
Might as well be.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Eazy-G, you're being very mean to Ric Flair.
I'm sure he's not listening, so.
Well, how do you know? This might be his favorite show.
Yeah.
Probably not. He's a bit of a Republican from what I understand, and I think I've driven most of them away.
Yeah, well, sometimes the DEF CON guy comes in here, Scumpy.
I was going to say, he has a name.
You haven't heard him lately, though.
He was on
the show.
He was on this morning.
No, but I haven't heard him come on this show in a while.
Oh, yeah, he hasn't been on here in a while. I don't know why.
He's got a big show this Saturday.
I don't know why he hasn't been on in a while. I went to his show to
Will you be
support
going to
him.
his show this Saturday?
I don't think I'm going to make it up to Concord.
It is far away. It's like 18 miles.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that far, but, I'm a busy man, Eazy-G. I got a busy schedule.
True. You don't want to commit to something, then he'll get disappointed.
Right. I don't want to say I'll definitely be there and then not. And let's be honest, as we know from recent history, even if I don't say I'm going to be there, he might be disappointed.
Yeah, that was great radio, though, a while back.
Yes, it was.
Scumpy was on the hot seat about the Buffets. I get it here early. I get up at 6 a.m. Up for 3 years.
Oh.
And once in a while, you can bring some muffins in. Oh, my God.
So Rocky Huber says in the Facebook live chat, hey, Matt, I really tuned in to watch Eazy-G apologize live for what he said yesterday.
Oh, yeah, all right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And what did you say, Eazy-G, again?
Sorry life.
You said I had a sorry life.
I got excited about one goldenrod t-shirt.
Because I was very... Did you see me, though, in that shirt? Did you see online the pictures of me in that shirt?
I did not see it.
I dare say I looked quite sexy in my goldenrod t-shirt.
There is nothing finer than a new, fresh t-shirt right out of the box.
Well, there is one thing finer, a fresh goldenrod t-shirt on this guy right here.
Oh, boy. I noticed you're wearing another shirt.
I looked fresh, as I believe the young people say. Do the young people say? Do the young people say that, Eazy-G? I looked fresh. I looked dope.
Once you wear a shirt for, once you wash it about 100 times, then it doesn't look that fresh.
Right,
anymore.
that's true. I actually slept in it because I loved it that much. I literally did. And then I was going to wear it again today, and I was like, well, I slept in it, so I guess I should probably wear some other clothes. It's only one shirt, so I can't. Originally, Eazy-G, I was so excited about it. I was like, I'm going to wear this goldenrod shirt every day, everywhere I go.
Yeah,
and then I realized, that might be an issue, so maybe I can't actually do that. Yeah. But I wanted to.
I don't think Jenny would like that either.
Probably not.
She might tell you to sleep in the doghouse.
Bobby B loves my goldenrod jingle, by the way, just so you know. He said in the Facebook live chat, I love it. I assume he's referring to the jingle. Rocky Huber says, hey, I think the only way you should accept his apology is if he says goldenrod is great. Just once.
Probably not.
Just once. Just have to say it once. Just one time. You don't have to mean it. We'll all know you don't really mean it. No. Pretend you're in a hostage video.
Yeah.
And you're being forced to say it. But we all know the truth. We all know the real Eazy-G. And you don't mean it.
I'm not gonna say it.
You just okay. What if you do this? What if you just mention goldenrod in one sentence and use the word great in a completely unrelated sentence.
No, I'm not going to fall for that crap.
Fall for what? What are you talking about? What do you think? I'm going to splice something together or something?
Oh, yeah. Then my boss will.
You really think I would do that? Give me one example of when I've ever done that. Splice something together to make someone look silly.
I definitely, I have
swamp ass.
I mean, other than that.
Yeah, herpes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I definitely,
I have osteoporosis.
Yeah, but I just because I do that to Peter White doesn't mean I'm going to do that to you.
Yeah. I gotta hit the road soon anyways.
Jenny says, ice cream for me? Eazy-G, where are some places you can get ice cream other than Creamland?
Puritan back room.
And?
You can probably you get ice cream at the basket, the market basket.
Yeah, but what's like a restaurant type place where you can get it?
Creamland.
Yeah.
Puritan back room.
Right, but where else?
A lot of places at the beach.
No, I mean locally.
Yeah, I can't think of any others. I'm not going to fall for it.
I don't know why you do. I don't know what you're so worried about.
I definitely, I have hepatitis.
I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
I just want to hear you say it because I just think it'd be interesting to hear you say it.
Yeah.
Do you have any allergies, Eazy-G?
Too many.
What are you allergic to pollen?
Oh yeah, pollen, definitely.
Yeah. Do you have any other allergies like stuff that floats around in the air?
Tree pollen,
and like what else? Yeah, but what else that floats around in the air might you be allergic to, or that you might see in a field or something? Is there anything else?
Dandelions, probably.
Dandelions, yeah. Anything like with 3 syllables in it you can think of that might make you sneeze?
Flour? I think my boss Nicole is allergic to flour. This is what she told me.
Oh, yeah. Rocky Huber says, what's one with a bathroom? Oh, referring to ice cream places.
What?
An ice cream place with a bathroom. And Bobby B says, no buckets. Buckets don't count.
Oh, boy.
Hello to Wayne Noel, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. I don't think there's any fooling you, Eazy-G.
No fooling me.
No fooling you. You know why? Because you're Eazy-G and your time is now.
Yep.
Is that what you say at the start of your shift? Like at Creamland?
We do joke. I do joke around with this lady Brianna. And I tell her it sounded like a joke a month ago when my shift was over one day. She goes, "Your time is up."
Yeah.
I don't think she knows what that reference is with the John Cena thing. He says that, right? John Cena, right? Your time is up.
Your time is up. My time is now.
Right.
So when she said that, did you look at her and say, my time is now?
No, because she just
you should have. How great would that have been?
But today she was leaving, so I told her today, your time is up.
Yeah? And did she say, my time is now?
No, she just laughed.
Oh.
She said, it's time for me to leave this popcorn stand, and she left.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing people say. Time for me to blow this popcorn stand.
Yeah, she's a funny gal. She's working there 8 years.
8 years, my goodness.
She was 16, yeah, so do the math.
Wow. Is she like Nicole's assistant manager or something?
Oh, no, she's the class clown.
The class clown.
Yeah, she's funny.
Like what kind of humor would you say, Eazy-G?
I can get down and dirty at times. Yep.
Oh, is that inappropriate for the workplace?
Kind of is.
Oh.
I told her that all the time. I said, it's kind of inappropriate.
Wow. Oh, you do? So she offends you?
Oh, yeah.
Does she make you uncomfortable?
At times.
Really?
That's okay though, because that makes me that I don't have to do it now. So I'm usually the class clown. So I let her embarrass herself.
Okay.
She does it all the time.
Okay.
She doesn't seem to care about it. So.
Oh, hello to Pandora in the Facebook live chat as well as Pete Trouble Morris joins us as well. Yeah. So
she's pretty harmless.
Okay.
She's just a funny girl.
So you don't feel harassed?
Nah.
Okay.
I just don't worry about it.
Right. Yeah, you're good.
If it was something serious, then obviously I would discuss it with the boss.
Right. Okay. Oh, Pandora just, I know why, here, I'll play, I know why Pandora put this in there, but here, let me play it. Oh, wait, that's the wrong, hang on, sorry. Too many sliders.
I have crippling depression.
That's the same. Do you recognize the voice?
No.
It's the same voice as
I
this.
definitely,
I have osteoporosis.
It's the same guy.
Oh, Peter White?
Well, it's not Peter White, but it's another guy, but I spliced, not that I would ever do that, but I spliced their voices together, Eazy-G.
Yes.
Yes.
Pauly C, the place to be?
No, it's not Pauly C. It's some random guy on YouTube.
Oh, shame on you.
Shame on me. Why?
Yeah.
I didn't do anything.
What if he's listening?
What if who's listening?
You never know who's listening. You gotta be careful of that.
Well, that's true. Boy, I found that out the hard way, didn't I?
Yeah.
When your boss called. Pete Trouble Moore says, I thought Eric said he knows what makes for good radio. Goldenrod for the win.
Yeah.
Do you know what makes for good radio, Eazy-G?
I try. I've brought in Amanda McCarthy 3 times.
Yes.
That makes good. I'm trying to get her to come in again next month.
That is wonderful. Yes.
She hasn't got back to me. I'm trying to shoot for July 9th.
What if there were an Eazy-G radio hour? What would it consist of? What would you, if you had to program a radio show? What would you include?
I don't know.
Maybe a half hour. What would be in the radio show, Eazy-G?
That'd be a good question. I guess it would. I would have to think about it, I guess.
Would it be just like all Amanda McCarthy every week?
No, that would get old. So once a month would be good. It's really busy, so.
Right. Yeah, you didn't mean anything mean by that.
I don't want to steal any glory from the other guy that does a lot of music stuff. So
the other guy, he has a name, Eazy-G.
Robert Zavito. He does a really good job with his music show. So.
Yes, he does. Granted State of Mind.
Once in a while, it's fun to bring in a magician. I'm going to bring in Katie Dobbins on August 5th. So.
Did you say bring in a magician?
No, Katie Dobbins. She's been on your show, right?
Yes, but she didn't do any magic while she was here.
She's been on the Robert Zavito show, I think, twice or maybe 3 times.
Yes.
So it's important to bring people in that know where the studio is. That's always important. Amanda didn't really know where the studio was, but now she does because she's been on this show 3 times. I mean, she's been on your show. She's been on the Peter White show 3 times, and I guess she's going to be on the Ben Dion Weekly Dion on September 26th.
Oh, very nice.
Which happens to be her birthday.
Pete Trouble Moore says he would just list all of his ailments if you did a radio show. Is that true, Eazy-G? Would you talk about your ailments?
I could.
Yes.
But that would be boring after a while.
Right. Maybe you could get some medical people to call in.
I could. Maybe I could bring my therapist, Melissa, to come on.
Oh, very good.
I gave her a shout out on the radio on Tuesday, and I asked her if she heard it for the second. I did it on Monday. She didn't hear it. And her kids heard it. Her kids were laughing and said, "Wow, Mom, you're a big celebrity now. I heard you on the radio."
Shout out to Eazy-G's therapist.
And one of them was only 2 years old, so she didn't really understand. But all the other kids were running around the room, so she decided to run around the room and just follow them.
What kind of therapy are you getting?
Some physical therapy, and they wrap up my feet and legs. And
I thought you meant she was helping you with other things. Well, you talk to a therapist.
Oh, no, this is physical therapy.
Oh.
For my lymphomia there, and cellulitis.
Oh, right. I thought maybe
my cellulitis is gone now. But
I thought maybe you were seeing a therapist to cope with all this goldenrod, Creamland stuff.
Oh, no.
Because
she's a real nice lady.
Clearly, you're caught between two worlds.
Well, hopefully next week I'll say goodbye because hopefully it's coming to an end.
Oh, right. Does she know you feel that way? That would probably hurt her feelings. She probably looks forward to her sessions with you.
She's a nice lady, but eventually it's coming to an end. So
right,
which is a good thing. So.
Bobby B says, Eazy-G obviously knows good radio. He's popping pills, showing nips, and yawning. That's good stuff.
Yeah, well, the fun ends in 2 minutes, so they got to hit the road.
The fun ends in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
We got 120 seconds of fun to go.
Yeah, I got to hit the road going to the Relay for Life. Relay for Life wrap-up party over the Dartmouth Hitchcock Clinic. That's what it's called.
Oh, very nice. So you're making a personal appearance?
Yep.
Will you be signing autographs?
No.
You know, Michael Martineau was on the show recently, and
yeah, that was funny. Yeah,
he's a big star now.
Yeah, that's okay.
Do you feel like
there's room for plenty of stars?
Kind of in his shadow a little bit.
Well, he's been on your show now. He was on the sports show. Obviously, he's been on the Peter White show. He hasn't been on the Weekly Dion yet, though.
Right.
Maybe that's next. And that's okay.
Oh yeah. Well, you're being very gracious about it.
Because I told the Ben Dion I don't need to be on your show. Because I was kind of pushing to be on there a little too much.
Right.
So I told him the other day I don't need to be on there. He said, "Okay, that's fine."
Oh, well, that's nice. Michael Albert says, "Is Eric wearing his Goldenrod restaurant T-shirt?" I don't think.
Because you see, that way, if I'm not on there, it leaves an opportunity for somebody else. So on that note, I got to hit the road.
All right, Eazy-G's got to hit the road. We of course have to hit his music.
Well, thank you very much.
Because you get your music as you're leaving the ring as well as when you enter it. So. There we go. Eazy-G is leaving us. It's Eazy-G. His time is now.
Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise where I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now. In case you forgot or fell off, I'm still hot, knock your shell off. My money stacked fat, plus I can't turn the swell off. The franchise doing big business, I live this, it's automatic. I win this, so you hear those horns, you finish. A soldier, and I stay under you fighting. Plus I'm storming on you chumps like I'm thunder and lightning. Ain't no way you breaking me, kid, I'm harder than nails. Plus I keep it on lock like I'm part of the jail. I'm slaughtering stale competition.
All right, there goes Eazy-G. Another visit with Eazy-G, Eric Gagnon. All right, hello to Fred Boenig, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. Rocky Huber says, nice, the fanny pack of a champ, LOL. Can I just say something about fanny packs? I personally have always been disappointed that fanny packs have become, I shouldn't say have become as though it just happened recently, that fanny packs are generally considered so incredibly uncool. And I'm not even the type of person that normally cares about what's cool or not cool. I just do what I like, but I won't wear a fanny pack because that's crossing a line into, that would be like wearing a pocket protector. You know what I mean? That's how uncool that is. So, but it's always disappointed me that that's the case because I actually think it's a great invention. Conceptually, it's awesome. Especially like if you're a runner and, you want some place to put your keys and your wallet and your cell phone, you strap on a fanny pack and there you go. It's perfect. It's a fantastic invention. And yet for some reason, it just became extremely uncool to ever wear a fanny pack. I don't know if you can even buy them anywhere. And I don't really understand why. I don't know what happened culturally and societally to make fanny packs something that you absolutely must not ever wear, or you will be cast out of society forever. It's quite unfortunate in my opinion, because I think it is a fantastic invention. Well, we're coming up on the top of the hour. I think what we're going to do is we'll take our midpoint break just a little bit early because after the excitement of an appearance from Eazy-G, it really is the ideal time to kind of reset the show. So we'll do that. Parody Project, one of my favorite gang of YouTubers has something new up that I will share with you all now. This is really well done. And it's called When Johnny Comes Rolling Home. Actually, this is one they did with the Freedom Toast. It's a parody project and the Freedom Toast together. But take a listen to this. It's very relevant. And then we'll come back and we'll chat some more. You're listening to Matt Connarton Unleashed. We're live on WMNH 95.3 FM.
When Johnny comes rolling home again, here on, we know he'll never roam again. Here on, where his legs don't work and his shoulder droops. But that's okay, we support the troops. We will all think twice when Johnny comes rolling home. When our boy comes back broke and bent, here on, we'll wonder why he ever went. Here on, McConnell gets all his contracts done, and a coward claims he's the favorite son. But we'll all think twice when Johnny comes rolling home. The White House thinks they'll do the job. Here on, they'll never hear our Johnny sob. Here on, they have no idea who attacked our boats. It's buried in John Bolton's notes. Trump will not be there when Johnny comes rolling home. Again they tell us there's a threat. Here on, how gullible do we have to get? Here on, they tell us that we must strike back to avenge a fictitious non-attack. It will be for not when Johnny comes rolling home. We wait for Johnny to arrive. Here on, he will be more dead than alive. Here on, he joined to fight for the USA. Can't understand, he'll get tossed away. But we'll all wake up when Johnny comes rolling home.
If you don't like the news, then press eject. Jimmy Davis getting older, can't take a rain check. It's time to let them know what we expect. Stop building SUVs strong out on OPEC. Hold up, wait up, you know we come correct. second to reckon. It takes time to build.
It take a second to reckon.
It takes time to build.
You got to chill. It take a
The idea is to keep the green alien landing.
Abraham was gonna kill his son. God told him to. And he would have done, but you ain't God. And I ain't Abraham. No child of mine. Die for an oil man, no child of mine. No child of mine. I will sacrifice. No child of mine, it's too high a price to pay for. Nothing but a ribbon to hang upon my door. That flag like it's yours alone. One of them stars where I make my home, Louisiana. You can paint it red, but a heart is blue. Let me repeat what I said. No child of mine. No child of mine. No child of mine. No child of mine. I will sacrifice. No child of mine, it's too high a price to pay for. Nothing but a ribbon to hang upon my door. I've seen courage, and I've seen dying, I've seen righteousness, an unholy line. I know the difference, and I'll take the time to teach that difference to every child of mine. No child of mine, no child of mine, no child of mine, no child of mine. I will sacrifice. No child of mine, it's too high a price to pay for. Nothing but a ribbon to hang upon my door.
You're welcome, Fred. You always send me great stuff. Hey, everybody, it's Matt Connarton, Unleashed in the Afternoon. We are live on WMNH 95.3 FM, emanating from a hot, sticky, humid downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. It's been very, very humid lately. Of course, we're also on Comcast 97 in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org. And on Facebook via Facebook Live on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. The number to call is 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. Or, of course, you can always interact in the Facebook Live chat as well. That song I just played, that was No Child of Mine, not Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses, mind you. That's for another station. But I closed the link. I want to make sure I tell people who the artist was. Oh, geez, this is running slow. I closed the link and I'm trying to reopen it. Oh, No Child of Mine by Truck Stop Honeymoon is the artist. So Fred Boenig from the Daily Ripple always sends good stuff. He mentioned in the Facebook live chat it's one of his favorite anti-war songs. And before that, I played Time to Build by the Beastie Boys. That is from their album To the Five Boroughs, or actually it's an EP, I guess, but that was from back in 2003, 2004, leading into that election. So, that's why they reference, they say in the song, maybe it's time to impeach Tex. That's a reference to W. But so much of that track, I mean, for one thing, it's my favorite Beastie Boys track ever. But also so much of that, what's in that is relevant today in those lyrics. And, of course, we played that parody project. Hello to Ed Murphy, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. So we've got plenty of things to get to, but I have something truly shocking, my friends, to share with you. And it is from my favorite website, and hopefully yours, rightwingwatch.org. Occasionally we like to feature some of the wisdom of Jim Baker on the show. And I'm always, sort of just amazed at the way that Christian evangelicals, I'm fascinated by their love and adoration for our president, Donald John Trump. And, I have various theories about this that I've discussed on the air. But Jim Baker has revealed something truly astonishing that I was not aware of, if this is in fact true. And this is why I can understand, if this is true, I can fully appreciate why it is so important that Trump be reelected in 2020, because according to Jim Baker, Christian leaders and politicians will be murdered if Trump is not reelected. Can you believe that? This is very frightening, my friends. I hope he's wrong about this. It says here, End Times prepper pastor Jim Baker warned on his television program today that if President Trump is not reelected in 2020, Christian leaders and politicians will be murdered in the streets. Baker said, how come Trump was elected? Because God's people voted and the world knows it. The enemies of the gospel know it. Yes. Well, here, let's listen to the audio of this. It's a short clip. It's only about a minute, but we'll, because I know that some of you are skeptical, right? When I play something from Jim Baker, some of you are naturally skeptical about his words. And, I know that he makes money off of his Christianity, selling his survivalist food buckets, right? End Times food buckets, or whatever he calls them, which a concept that I still don't fully understand, right? So he sells these food buckets for when the rapture comes. But it seems to me, if you're the kind of person who would buy one of Jim Baker's food buckets, you're supposed to be the kind of person who would be swept up in the rapture and would get to go to heaven. So why would you need the food bucket? It seems to me like he markets the food buckets to the wrong people. He needs to be marketing food buckets to sinners who are going to need the food buckets for when they don't get swept up in the rapture. So I see a flaw in his marketing. But anyway, so I know that some of you naturally are skeptical of someone who makes money off of their religion. And I know that some of you are skeptical of Jim Baker because during the 1980s, he wore those very colorful sweaters. And, as we know from Bill Cosby, you can't fully trust someone who wears a very colorful sweater. But as is the unofficial policy of the show, I'm going to play the audio for you. And I would like for us to listen to this together, not only with open minds, but with open hearts as well. Because what if he's right? I mean, look, I don't plan on voting for Trump. I didn't vote for him the first time, and I certainly don't plan on voting for him in 2020. But if Jim Baker can convince me that people are going to be murdered in the streets if Trump doesn't win a second term, I might have to change my mind. I mean, and that doesn't mean that I'm going to suddenly start agreeing with Trump. It just means that I don't want to see people murdered in the streets. I mean, that would be horrifying. I hope it doesn't come to that. But let's listen to what Jim Baker has to say about it. This is from his show. This is very concerning.
Everybody Basically, everybody except 3 people that I know of said that Donald Trump could not be elected. They said all the polls say he will not be elected. How come he was elected? Because God's people voted. Right. And the world knows it.
That's right.
The enemies of the gospel know it. And I want to tell you what. I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say, but I'm going to say it anyhow.
Oh, boy.
Because what's coming next, if we keep losing, you're going to see the leaders of the church and the leaders of the gospel and the political conservative leaders that are powerful, you're going to see them suddenly die.
Suddenly
killed.
Oh, my goodness.
Suddenly as they were driving. Suddenly as they were in a boat. Suddenly in an airplane. You're going to see one after. God spoke to me this years ago what would happen near the end. And I believe we're in that time. They're so desperate. This is life and death. This is the hatred of murder is in the country.
I'm confused. Isn't that a good thing, the hatred of murder? Should people like murder? I mean, murder is a bad thing. Actually, I think it's one of the 7 deadly sins. My goodness. Well, there's some terrible calamities coming if Trump is not reelected. So, again, I might have to rethink things. And this hatred of murder, let's see. Fred Boenig on the Facebook live chat says, when the weather is hot and sticky, that's no time for dunking Dickie when the frost is on the pumpkin. That's the time for Dickie Duncan. Okay. I don't know that. A proverb comes to mind, he who hesitates is lost. Fred says, Jessica Hahn accused him of rape. He paid hush money. Yes, that's what happened to Jim Baker and his very colorful sweaters. He paid hush money to Jessica Hahn. Well, we know someone else who paid hush money. He says, Fred says, I guess he got a mulligan. And there's a link here in the Facebook live chat to, I assume this is, it's taking this a second to load here. I assume this is Jim Baker's Wikipedia page. Yes. Yes. Well, it's all about redemption, isn't it? We love a redemption story in America, and, God forgives and all that. So, unless you're Hillary Clinton, of course. Let's see. All right, so we'll get into some other stuff. And we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. 603-250-6007 is a number. 603-250-6007. I do want to, Trump had his big rally, his launch of his 2020 campaign. What is it? Let's keep America great or something, or let's deport people or something like that. I forget what the slogan is. Oh, Fred says you said it was hot and sticky. That's what the reference is. That's what that reference was. Did I say that, Fred? I try not to use that phrase. It makes me uncomfortable, but apparently I did say it. Fact-checking Donald Trump's 2020 campaign kickoff in Florida. This is from PolitiFact.com. And I know if you're a MAGA person, this is all fake news to you, but I enjoy the fact-checking with sites like PolitiFact and factcheck.org. I feel that they're very fair and nonpartisan. We have a call. We'll take this first. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
What's your hot and sticky friend from Pennsylvania?
Oh, see that makes me even more uncomfortable, Fred. I don't think of you as my hot and sticky friend. No offense.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not that there would be anything wrong with that. It's just it's not quite how I think of you.
Oh, good. Because actually, I'm in air conditioning right now and fine.
Well, excellent.
I tell you, his speech last night, it was kind of, I think they were talking about it on Morning Joe this morning, sounding like Elvis's 77 tour, singing all the greatest hits.
Yeah.
The fat, sweaty guy on stage, aging rock star that that is singing all his classics and everybody knows all the words, you know?
You got to play the hits.
And that's what it was. It's so refreshing to know that we're not going to have a whole bunch of new stuff to worry about.
Well, that's a very good way to
worry
look at
about
it.
her emails.
Oh, did he get it? See, I didn't watch the whole thing. Did he get into that?
Oh, well, he mentioned Hillary like 6 times, and he mentioned Biden once.
That's
Hillary's running. I guess that's the new word, right?
That's what I predicted, though. I predicted that. If you remember on the show, I said considerable time and effort will be spent during this campaign to running against Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's the one person he knows he can beat.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's just run against her. We can win that one again.
But the thing is,
I don't know if we can win Biden, but
right.
I certainly know he can beat Hillary.
But it works, right? Like MAGA people love that. They love the anti-Hillary stuff.
Well, I love the part where they jumped out and started saying "lock her up," and I'm thinking, wait a minute, no, folks. If you get to the last 4 pages of the Mueller report, there's 14 criminal referrals there that we don't know what they are yet.
Right.
I mean, there's 14 of them on the last 4 pages. I know that a lot of these guys, Lindsey Graham, who admitted he hadn't read it, he read most of it, he said.
Yeah.
I'm sure, yeah, sure you have, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, we store it on the Daily Ripple. I mean, I turned it into every page into a JPEG so that people could actually use it and share them.
Mm-hmm.
And, so, I actually have read it because I had to make pages.
Yes.
Every one of them. So
yeah.
It was quite interesting. And again, the last 4 pages, the very last 4 pages are 14 criminal indictments, all redacted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and those referrals mean they went to like New York or Virginia or someplace.
Exactly.
For investigations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And can there possibly be 14 people left in the Trump campaign that are not currently indicted or in prison? I mean, it's got to be one of his kids, right? I mean, it's just there isn't that. The numbers are too high.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're not low level people that they're worried about. These are those to have 14 of them to be in a criminal indictment. It wasn't the guy who took the mail to the post office.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
it's got to be. I mean, it's got to be Brad Pascal. I'm thinking, he's the guy who gave the polling data to Manafort because, I mean, he was in control of all that data.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, it could be him.
Yeah.
And of course, it could be, Donald Jr. and Ivanka or whatever, whatever her name is. And so that I'm just saying that's what I think. 14 criminal indictments, and nobody talks about those.
Right. Well, it's like I said all along, too. Like, I was always skeptical that Trump himself directly colluded with the Russians because I didn't think he really wanted to win to begin with. As you know, that's my theory. But that he was very worried, and this is, I think, why he really wanted to stop the investigation. He was very worried about his kids being indicted, especially Don Jr.
Well, the whole point is, is knowledge of it happening part of the crime for not reporting it?
Right.
I mean, do you honestly think for one moment that he didn't know any of this? He didn't know about the meeting. Everybody in his team was in the meeting. He didn't even know about it.
The one at Trump Tower.
Yeah, I mean, just what I'm saying, all this stuff. It's a small organization. He's a hands-on guy. Yeah. Everybody's out to kiss his butt. I mean, Everybody is trying to kiss his butt. So, you wouldn't tell somebody, "Hey, we might have dirt on Hillary." You wouldn't if it was your dad and you were running your dad's campaign.
Well, but
if you didn't tell him, it was because you knew it was wrong.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. That's why it is possible. It is possible, I think, that Trump didn't know the specifics or that, that Russians were involved or any of that. I mean, who knows how much Don Jr. might have told him. And who knows.
Well, Jr. knew because it said right in the email, "Hey, we're giving you information from the guy in charge at the Russians."
Right.
I mean, it was like, this is from the Russians. It said in the subject line.
Right. Oh, yeah, Jr. knew. But we don't know what he might have told his dad. He might have just, said something like, "Daddy, you're going to be so proud of me."
They have plausible deniability, or is it because he didn't know it was wrong? Because if he didn't know it was wrong, then he would have told his dad.
Yeah.
I mean, just because they were so giddy about it, that this was. I love it. You're going to give me this information. Everybody has to be in on the meeting.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it wasn't like he just met by himself. I mean, there was Manafort there. There was, there was Kushner. There was all these people.
That's true.
There was like 13 people in the room.
That's true.
And he didn't come up afterwards and say there was nothing, because the day when he found out about it before the meeting, Trump, you just keep in mind, Trump went on the 9th of June. He went live and said, standing next to his daughter and his wife, next week we're going to have some announcements about Hillary Clinton's, relations with, whatever, the Russians or something. That's what he said. We were going to make that announcement.
I had actually,
the same day they got the email.
I had actually forgotten about that, Fred. That particular moment that you just mentioned. I remember it now that you mention it, but I had actually forgotten about that specific thing when Trump said that. But I remember now.
Yeah, that day. Right. I mean, it's the same day. The day he got the email. That afternoon, he went out and said, "We're going next week, next Monday or Tuesday."
That's a good point.
Because that would be after the meeting.
Right.
We're going to announce this. We got some announcements about Hillary and her campaign or whatever. Whatever this was that he said. I'll.
Yeah.
You know that in a few moments when I get off the phone, it'll be in the Facebook Live.
Yeah, I appreciate. I appreciate it. Yeah. And I'll play it because I do remember that now that you bring it up, and I'd forgotten about that. That had slipped my mind.
How could he have not known? I mean, he just thought of that all by himself? It was the blue Volkswagen, the Celestine prophecy. He just thought about it, and it came into his life.
It's a great point. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, so most
right.
likely he
so,
didn't know. Right.
Any of that's, it's all BS. He knew what was going on. He always knows what's going on. I mean, the people that tell him, they certainly were going to tell him about that if they thought there was going to be a big thing, because that would have been a big thing, and it was a big thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he'll do it again if the opportunity arises, apparently. He might call the FBI if he feels like it, but but then again, he might not. He might, but who knows, right?
257 contacts with the Russians. That's what the Moscow Project has tracked, and they have all by date. And not one person told the truth about them.
Yeah.
And not one person said, after they were warned in, I think, July, that the Russians were by the FBI. Whenever he had his first, once he became the candidate for the party,
mm-hmm.
he was entitled to briefings, and at those briefings they told him that the Russians were probably going to try, or that they thought they might, because they were already tracking Page,
mm-hmm.
and because they already had ideas about that, because they had already heard about that from Papadopoulos's meeting with the Australian.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, they had already warned him that was going to go, and he had, since that time, they had, literally hundreds of meetings with Russian officials of some sort, everybody in the campaign, and not one person mentioned it, knowing that the FBI had already warned them that they were going to do this. And they already knew when they were warning them that they were going to do this.
Right.
So.
No, well, that's
just
true.
Saying. If the cops showed up at your house and said, "Hey, look, there's a bunch of guys in your neighborhood that are selling hot stuff," and you had a garage full of hot stuff from those guys, I could understand you wouldn't tell them.
Right.
But if you didn't have a garage full of hot stuff from those guys, and the cops said, "Hey, they're going to come by," and then all of a sudden your neighbor said, "Hey, look, buddy, I got all this stuff I want to put in your garage. You don't mind, right?" You would call the cops, because that would be the right thing to do.
Right, right.
Well, he was warned that this was going to happen, and they didn't do anything.
Right. But then if after the fact George Stephanopoulos were to ask me, "Hey, so if this ever happened again, you'd call the cops, right?" I might say, "Yeah, who knows?"
Were they TVs?
Yeah.
Were they big screen TVs? That's what I want to know. First, I'd want to know what was in the garage, because that's what he said. First, I'd want to see what the stuff was.
Right.
And then I would determine whether it was worth calling you or not.
Right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with looking at some stolen stuff, right? I mean, you got to
Right.
look.
It's, what the heck? I don't know that it was stolen.
Right. There's no harm in looking at it and thinking about maybe
Right.
keeping it.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Makes sense now when you put it in that kind of terms, doesn't it?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Oh, my God. Anyway, I just wanted to call in and say hi and thank you very much for playing that song, because, we are so close now that, these guys, they're going to do it again.
You really think so in terms of Iran?
No, they're going to do it again. Here's the deal. Iran again is going to push the thing just to get these guys to jump back in the deal. The uranium that they're enriching is low grade. It's not weapons grade.
Right.
So if they hit over where they're supposed to be, it's still not it's not a problem with having a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
But it's saying, look, we're not going to be part of this deal anymore. And right now, up to this point, they have totally complied.
Right.
And it's like somebody got to do something, And once we get past that, then all hell breaks loose.
Right.
And somebody makes the mistake, All those wars always start over some little stupid mistake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
they're thinking of the Lusitania or something,
Right. Well, it's like I was saying.
Believing someone's throwing babies out of the incubators.
Well, it's like I was saying the other day, too. There's not, as far as I know, there's not one single documented instance by the IAEA of Iran violating the deal.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, and you got guys like Tom Cotton out there, pushing this thing. And
oh, yeah.
And again, he's got his agenda. His agenda is there. And since he wrote the letter, he's been trying to pick this fight since he wrote the letter under Obama. So like weeks after they signed the deal.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, he's got a business to run.
Yeah. Thank you. You're right. You're exactly right.
That's all it is.
All right, I'll let you get back to your show.
All right, Fred. Thank you for the call, my friend.
I talk to you later, boss.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right, the great Fred Boenig from the Daily Ripple. And once Fred drops that audio into the Facebook live chat, I'll play that. So let's do this again. This is from PolitiFact, fact-checking Donald Trump's 2020 campaign kickoff in Florida. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. Trump, he usually does kind of a long-form thing when he does these. He likes to, speak extemporaneously about, he has all this knowledge.
I stand up here giving speeches for an hour and a half, many times without notes.
This is really his favorite thing to do, right? It's not governing, it's campaigning. He loves to campaign. He loves to be in front of the people. And like Fred and I, we were talking about, you got to play the hits, right? When you go on tour, you got to play the hits. And that's why, even in 2020, he's running against Hillary Clinton again and leading the crowd and chants of lock her up and whatnot, because that's what his audience wants. It says here, President Trump kicked off his re-election campaign with a rally in Orlando, Florida, a key state in the path to victory. Trump offered a long list of accomplishments, many centered on the economy, but he also revisited old criticisms of Hillary and the Obama administration and warned the crowd that, quote, the Democratic Party has become more radical, more dangerous, and more unhinged than at any point in the modern history of our country, unquote. Oh, my goodness. Well, that does sound terrifying, doesn't it? While he might exaggerate improvements in the economy, generally those claims had a measure of truth, but not in every case. On other issues, Trump took more liberties. And here are some of the highlights. So we'll go through these. First one, quote, if you take a look at the African American community, how much progress has been made, the lowest unemployment numbers in the history of our country. And PolitiFact says this is true. The latest numbers from the Bureau of Labor Statistics put black unemployment at 6.2%. That is a 1.5 percentage points lower than when Trump became president. It has been lower, but that was also during Trump's administration. So it's actually been even lower than it is now, but that was also during Trump. And going back to 1972, the earliest year of BLS data, Bureau of Labor Statistics, black unemployment has never been lower. Okay, so that claim is true. Next, wages are rising at the fastest rate in many decades. PolitiFact says, this goes too far. Wages have gone up on Trump's watch, but not at a consistently high rate. One of the best measures in median usual weekly real earnings. Data from the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis shows that in real inflation-corrected dollars, wages rose 1.14% since Trump took office. But in the same number of months before he moved into the White House, real wages went up 2.93%. The story is the same for the average change from quarter to quarter. Okay. But wages are rising. That part of it's true. Next one. We are, by the way, the number one producer of energy in the world because of what we've done right now. That was Trump's next claim listed here. PolitiFact says, this is partially correct. American energy production is at the top, but it is not due to only Trump's policies. The Energy Information Administration reported that the U.S. was the world's top producer of oil in 2018 and the top producer of natural gas in 2017. However, American oil production began to skyrocket in 2012, long before Trump was in charge. It dipped in 2014 when oil prices fell, but the government reported that, quote, after crude oil prices increased in early 2016, investment and production began increasing later that year, unquote. Next one, we passed the biggest tax cut in history. And PolitiFact rates this as wrong. Trump often repeats this point, but 3 tax cuts were larger. In inflation-corrected dollars, the American Taxpayer Relief Act of 2012 cut $321 billion per year. The Tax Relief Act of 2010 cut them by $210 billion per year. And the Economic Recovery Act of 1981 reduced taxes by $208 billion per year. The 2017 Tax Cut and Jobs Act cut taxes by $150 billion per year. That's the tax cut that Trump is referring to, of course. Wow, so actually there were 2 giant tax cuts. The 2 biggest tax cuts ever actually happened under Barack Obama. Oh, imagine that. Okay, next one. We have among the cleanest and sharpest crystal clean air and water anywhere on Earth. PolitiFact rates this as exaggerated. It's not that America's air and water are particularly polluted, but the country ranks 27th overall on the Environmental Performance Index, a project of the World Economic Forum and the researchers at Yale and Columbia. On air, it ranks 10th, and on water, 29th. Among wealthy democracies, the U.S. ranks toward the bottom, according to Zachary Wendling, principal investigator at the Environmental Performance Index. And one more in this article. He made this claim. We'll have over 400 miles of the wall built by the end of the year. PolitiFact rates this as misleading. Trump has struggled unsuccessfully to deliver on his signature campaign promise to build a wall between the U.S. and Mexico. In recent months, he has spoken of 400 miles of wall that are going up. However, the U.S. already has about 650 miles of barriers, and at least some of the wall work Trump has pointed to involved replacing existing fencing. Looking at government contracts and requests for proposals, the Trump administration hasn't laid out how many more new miles of the border will have some sort of barrier by the end of 2020, much less 2019. Fred says in the Facebook live chat, wages grew 7 cents per month under Obama, 60 cents per month under Trump, or 6 cents per month under Trump, I think is what he meant. Let's Fred drop that clip in there. So the meeting in Trump Tower happened on June 9th, and This is from, and like I said, I had forgotten about this. The only problem is this clip is 15 minutes. We'll see if he says it right in the beginning. Hopefully he said it right in the beginning. But the Trump Tower meeting was June 9th. This was on June 7th of 2016. So let's play the beginning of this, see what we get here.
Thank you very much. Hello. I'd like to begin by thanking the people of Montana, South Dakota, New Mexico, New Jersey, and California. We had some big days, and we have some big numbers coming in. Very big numbers. I'm truly honored by your support. Together, we accomplished what nobody thought was absolutely possible. And you know what that is. We're only getting started, and it's going to be beautiful. Remember that. Tonight, we close one chapter in history, and we begin another. Our campaign received more primary votes than any...
All right, I'm not going to... the only problem with this clip is it looks like it's his whole speech from that night. So I don't know where in there Trump made the comment that he did. But if you want to check it out on your own, Fred did drop it into the Facebook live chat. It's Donald Trump's primary night speech from June 7th, 2006. Hello to Kristen Warner in the Facebook live chat. Let's see. We'll go on to some other stuff. But anyway, so that was a quick, that was from PolitiFact, the fact-checking of some of Trump's larger claims. Let's see. And since we've been talking about war and Iran, and, you know, if you're a regular listener, you know, well, I have, I hate to keep bringing up Tucker Carlson on the show, but he is, both positively and negatively, I do find him to be the most compelling, person on Fox because, you know, again, if you've been listening, you know that when I talk about Tucker Carlson, on the one hand, on the negative side, whenever he discusses the topic of immigration, I find him to be extremely racist. Probably the most racist person at Fox. And, of course, Fox is a network that also employs Laura Ingraham. So that's no small accomplishment to be the most racist person at Fox. However, when Tucker discusses foreign policy, he is very anti-war, hasn't always been. He has evolved on that issue. And I've played clips on the show about Tucker talking about how, you know, we shouldn't be going to war with Iran. I played at least one clip of him when the Trump administration was doing all that saber rattling about Venezuela. You know, Tucker was very critical about that. And this is interesting. This is from Mediaite, you know, because we always hear about how Sean Hannity is very influential with Trump. Apparently, according to this, Tucker Carlson is as well. And wouldn't it be interesting if it's Tucker Carlson, of all people, that actually saves us from going to war with Iran? So it says here, Tucker Carlson has reportedly been in Trump's ear trying to talk him out of military action in Iran. This just went up today. Again, this is from Mediaite. It says here, Tucker Carlson has reportedly, privately, been advising President Donald Trump against military action in Iran. According to the Daily Beast, the Fox News primetime host has had a number... Oh, thank you, Fred. I'll come back to that. According to the Daily Beast, the Fox News primetime host has had a number of personal conversations with Trump in which he is advocating his opposition to U.S. military action against Iran. Further, he has been criticizing Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and National Security Advisor John Bolton, who have adopted more hawkish positions on Iran. Well, Bolton, of course, has always been hawkish on everything. John Bolton and his very frightening mustache are very, very pro-war. So this is what the Daily Beast reported. A source familiar with the conversations told the Daily Beast that, in recent weeks, the Fox News host has privately advised Trump against taking military action against Iran. And a senior administration official said that during the president's recent conversations with the Fox primetime host, Carlson has bashed the more hawkish members of his administration. Okay, so then back to Mediaite. Pompeo and Bolton have been at the forefront of what Pompeo has termed a maximum pressure campaign against Iran. According to U.S. officials via the Washington Post, Pompeo has privately warned against Iranian leaders that an attack which results in the death of one American serviceman will prompt a counterattack. Carlson, however, appears to be taking the opposite tack and trying to convince the president to do the same. As to whether it will work, the Beast reports that Trump holds Carlson in extremely high regard. A person identified as a knowledgeable source told the Beast in August, quote, Trump thinks Tucker is one of the sharpest minds on television. Trump has said, quote, so smart, a thinking man's show, unquote. Well, I hope that's true. And like I said, I when Tucker Carlson talks about foreign policy, I think it's great. And I want to like him in those moments, and then I see a segment on immigration that he's done, and I think, wow, what a giant racist D-bag he is. So my views on Tucker Carlson continue to be somewhat complex. Okay, so we're going to go back to that Trump clip that Fred sent us. He said it's at the 7:08 mark. This is where he makes the comment about how we're going to be releasing some information on Hillary Clinton. This is 2 days before the meeting at Trump Tower. So this clip is from June 7th, and that meeting was on June 9th, the meeting at the infamous meeting at Trump Tower. And, this is why Fred says Trump had to have known that meeting was coming. Don Jr. had to have told him, or why would Trump have said this? So we'll pick that up here.
For corrupt dealings out of the public record, putting the security of the entire country at risk, and a president in a corrupt system is totally protecting her. Not right. I am going to give a major speech on probably Monday of next week, and we're going to be discussing all of the things that have taken place with the Clintons. I think you're going to find it very informative and very, very interesting.
So he knew. He did know. Or he knew.
I wonder if the press will want to attend. Who knows?
Or he knew something.
Hillary Clinton turned the State Department into a private hedge fund. The Russians, the Saudis, the Chinese all gave money to Bill and Hillary and got favorable treatment in return. It's a sad day in America when foreign governments with deep pockets have more influence in our own country than our great citizens.
But if they have some dirt on your opponent, you might want to look at it, right? Maybe you call the FBI, but probably not. Whatever. All right, but anyway, yeah. So point taken, Fred. And it does sound like he knew about the meeting, or he knew something. Don Jr. had to have told him something. So yeah, I had completely forgotten about that. Let's see. So we have about a little under 20 minutes left in today's show. So if there's anything you'd like to talk about, you can give us a call at 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. I want to do something silly because the 11-year-old boy in me finds this story hilarious. This is also from Mediaite, and it gives me an excuse to say something on the air that makes the 11-year-old boy in me giggle and chuckle with glee. Skip Bayless, again, this is from Mediaite. Skip Bayless falls for parody report on James Harden's man boobs. And this is a sports thing, and so I don't even know much about who these people are, but it's always funny when somebody falls for like a fake story. It says here on Wednesday, Fox Sports 1 host Skip Bayless repeated a false claim tweeted by a parody account, fake news in other words, right? Stating that NBA star James Harden stormed out of several Houston Rockets practices in tears after his teammate Chris Paul mocked his man boobs. With Harden and Paul's unsalvageable quote-unquote relationship being the focus of sports media this week, a parody Twitter account posting as ESPN's top NBA reporter Adrian Wojnarowski, I probably butchered that, wrote that sources say Paul had insulted Harden's figure. The joke account wrote in a tweet that was unironically shared by several sports media figures, quote, sources tell ESPN that Chris Paul repeatedly made fun of James Harden for having man boobs during practices over the last 2 seasons. Several times, Harden broke down into tears and had to leave the practice facility. No surprise to see Harden wanting Paul out now. Well, I do have to say, I mean, I'm not, I never did sports in school or anything, but it does seem like something like that, if it were true, it doesn't really much foster a team atmosphere, right? I mean, you shouldn't be making fun of. As a friend of mine, I have a friend, I haven't talked to her in a while, but she likes to, a big fan of economy of language. She likes to just call them moobs. But in any case, I mean, it just seems unseemly, the idea that someone would actually make fun of someone for that in a locker room of a team. So I can see where, if the story were true, this would be terribly troubling. Now, let's hear some audio of these guys. I guess one of these guys is Skip Bayless. We'll hear some audio of him talking about it.
This has been going on for 2 years.
Yes.
There was the one report yesterday that it got so bad in practice going back 2 years ago that Chris Paul was making fun of James' man boobs in practice to the point that he broke down in tears and had to leave a couple of practices. Man. Okay, that's when you're hitting bottom, right?
Yeah.
Okay, these are things that happen. We talked about the Kevin Durant, Draymond on the bench versus the Clippers. Those are the kind of things where the bridge burns to the ground and you can't even begin to rebuild it, right?
Yeah, it's Chernobyl. Even the ground is contaminated.
That is correct. Okay.
I mean, really, it's, dare I say, it's moob shaming, right? If I may use that term. Let's see. Another quick thing from Reason.com. This kind of thing makes me, especially as an online content creator, this kind of thing always makes me very, very nervous, and it should make all of us nervous. And hopefully this isn't going anywhere. But again, this is from Reason. Josh Hawley introduces bill to put Washington in charge of internet speech. Hawley is selling it. Is it Hawley or Hawley? I think it's Hawley. Is selling it as a way to fight tech company, quote unquote, bias against Republicans. Don't believe him. So here's the story. It's pretty quick, but Senator Josh Hawley, Republican of Missouri, I mean, I would normally say Missouri, but I think Missourians actually say Missouri, is introducing legislation to clamp down on free expression online under the pretense of fighting tech company bias against Republicans. Hawley's solution is to amend Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, a measure that prevents individual users of internet platforms and the companies that run them from being treated as legally indistinguishable from one another. Without it, digital companies and the users of their products, in other words, all of us, could be sued in civil court or subject to state criminal prosecution over content and messages created and published by others. State attorneys general have been howling about Section 230 for more than a decade because it means that only the federal government can criminally prosecute internet intermediaries. Thus, state prosecutors don't have the opportunity to seize assets and bring in big financial settlements themselves. As Attorney General of Missouri, Hawley joined in the tradition of Democratic Senator Kamala Harris when she was Attorney General of California and the top cops from many other states in begging Congress to amend Section 230. The first time around, back in 2013, the excuse attorneys general used was child sex trafficking, falsely insisting that Section 230 stopped knowing perpetrators of this horrific crime from being brought to justice. In fact, nothing in Section 230 has ever prevented the Department of Justice from enforcing federal criminal laws, including laws against forced or underage prostitution. Sorry. It's so hot in here, it's frying my brain. My brain is melting in my head. I wonder if there's something you can do like a cooling unit that goes like on your head that will cool your brain. I need coolant for my brain. Someone should invent that, please. And give me credit for the idea, though. When that proved a successful ruse, resulting in the 2018 passage of FOSTA, which both amended Section 230 and made facilitating prostitution a federal crime, politicians were emboldened in their power grab for online speech. Now, national and state leaders are insisting that Section 230 must be destroyed in order to fight foreign influence in our elections, the manipulated videos known as deepfakes, fentanyl trafficking, gun violence, and an array of other, sometimes real, sometimes imaginary problems. For some Republican leaders, chief among them Howley, this has led to the truly Orwellian tack of trying to convince conservative internet users that taking away protection for online speech will somehow allow them to speak more freely. That's the nonsensical proposition at the heart of Howley's new legislation, misleadingly called the Ending Support for Internet Censorship Act. Well, it's like the, what was it, the Blue Skies thing, which was actually, they call it Blue Skies when actually it was causing more pollution or something. The measure would give the government control over online speech by denying Section 230 prosecutions to platforms that don't hand over an array of private intellectual property and satisfactorily prove to a bunch of partisan political appointees that they are operating in a quote-unquote politically neutral manner. Essentially, Howley wants to revive the old fairness doctrine, a policy that was roundly denounced by conservatives for its chilling effect on free speech and its propensity to further marginalize non-mainstream voices, and apply this cursed policy paradigm to anything online. By the way, I'm not a conservative, but I also don't agree, never agreed with the fairness doctrine. Largely for the same reasons that conservatives don't, even though I'm not a conservative. Under Howley's bill, companies would be required to reapply with the Federal Trade Commission every 2 years for this political favor, a situation that would mean companies having, quote, to constantly curry favor with the administration, unquote, as Mapbox policy head Tom Lee noted on Twitter. Howley's proposal would also require tech companies to discipline or fire any employee who made a content moderation decision that bureaucrats deem to be in violation of online speech neutrality principles. With stakes like these, the only visible path for tech companies would be to censor vastly more political speech, not less. Howley tweeted Wednesday morning, "Today I've introduced legislation to end big tech's biggest sweetheart deal from government. No more government protection for big tech's political censorship," unquote. Censorship would be universally worse without Section 230, and as someone who studied law, Howley should know this. But it doesn't matter what he knows about Section 230. It matters what the masses know about Section 230, which was basically zilch until recently. That's what makes it easy for folks like Howley Harris and the rest of bipartisan chorus calling for 230's demise to manipulate their base into buying that it's about bias or sex trafficking or gun violence or any other number of hated things. But no matter how many culture war red flags Howley and company raise, their solutions all come down to the same thing, letting folks in Washington have more say over what can be said on the internet and using tweaks to Section 230 to do it. When Democrats and Republicans professing diametrically opposed goals settle on the same solution, it's a good clue that politicians aren't telling their constituents the truth. And I love that last sentence because that is very true. So there you go. That is from Reason.com. We have just a couple minutes left. Maybe we'll do one more quick thing. If anyone wants to get in with a call, you can. It's been a quiet day today. 603-250-6007 is the number. 603-250-6007. Let's see. Let's do Oh, yeah. Let's do one more really quick thing. This is from rightwingwatch.org, and I know I did something from Right Wing Watch earlier. The Jim Baker thing. That's where I get all the Jim Baker stuff. But I just thought this was interesting because, you know, I've often talked on the show about how modern conservatism and conspiracy theorism have really melded together and kind of become one and the same. You know, a lot of conservatives are very fond of Alex Jones and actually believes what he puts out there. And we have our first conspiracy theory president. You know, Trump is very much into conspiracy theories. You know, he made himself king of the birthers in 2011. He believes that Ted Cruz's dad, Rafael Cruz, helped murder JFK because he saw a picture in the National Enquirer, et cetera, et cetera. You know, he buys into all that. And then I saw this on Right Wing Watch. Maine GOP vice chair, Maine as in the state of Maine, GOP vice chair channels white genocide conspiracy theories. So again, this is someone involved in the running of what is allegedly the mainstream Republican Party. It says here, Maine Republican Party Vice Chair Nick Isgro warned viewers of a live stream on Facebook that abortion providers were given subsidies, quote, so we can kill our own people while global elites, unquote, bring immigrants into America, quote, to be used for our own destruction, unquote. In a Facebook live video uploaded to the Restore Maine's Future page on Facebook last weekend, Isgro told viewers that the state of Maine was suffering an absolute crisis. Isgro said that sanctuary city policies in Portland were a threat to the rest of the state. So here's more of what he said. Quote, we keep being told that we need more workers at the same time that we're expanding and giving massive subsidies now to the abortion industry so we can kill our own people, but we have to import all these people so that we can continue to have a stream of cheap labor. Unquote. He went on to say to asylum-seeking immigrants in Maine as, quote, human pawns in a game that is being played by global elites. Yeah, that's right out of Alex Jones. Alex Jones uses that phrase all the time, talking about the global elites. My allergies are bothering me so much I can't even do the not very good Alex Jones impression that I usually do. It's not very good to begin with, so maybe it's just as well. He also said, quote, don't let them pull on your heartstrings. They use a lot of emotional arguments. We have compassion on people who are being used as human pawns, but we cannot allow that to be used for our own destruction. We need to prioritize Mainers first, unquote. So again, he's using, when he refers to our own destruction, he means white people. White people are under attack because we let non-white people into the country. You know, it's that whole, sometimes you'll hear them use a slightly more subtle argument, only slightly more subtle, but, you know, the racism is still very, very much there. You'll hear people like Tucker Carlson and Laura Ingraham, for example, talk about the browning of America. And of course, that's supposed to be very terrifying to us white people who are under siege and just, you know, all of that nonsense. It's incredibly racist. But this is the vice chair of the Republican Party in the state of Maine. This isn't some fringy conspiracy theorist online. This is the vice chair of the Republican Party in Maine. And this is not a recent development, by the way, this melding of conservatism and conspiracy theorism. You know, I've talked about on the show, too. When I started doing the show here at WMNH, I had Jack Kimball on the show a couple times, and Jack Kimball was running the back in, I think it was 2009. He was running the state Republican Party here in New Hampshire. He was head of the Republican Party here, and Jack Kimball said on this show that Barack Obama was personally financing ISIS. So this is a guy who was running things for the party here in New Hampshire at one point, and he wasn't talking about, you know, like Trump said, oh, Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, they're the founders of ISIS, and you hear him say that, and you're not sure, does he mean that literally, or does he mean that hyperbolically, you know, that their actions and policies caused ISIS to form, or is he literally saying that they started ISIS? What does he mean? But no, when Jack Kimball came on the show, and I actually like Jack personally, believe it or not, but when Jack Kimball came on the show, because I asked him for clarification, and he literally said, no, Barack Obama is personally financing ISIS. So that's a mainstream Republican guy in the state of New Hampshire saying that. So it's true. I mean, there is no, the line hasn't even been blurred. It's gone. The Republican Party is the quote unquote modern Republican Party today is the party of conspiracy theorism. No wonder they love Trump. Again, we have our first conspiracy theory president. So it makes sense. All right. And with that, I bid you all adieu. Thank you to everybody for listening today. Thank you, Fred, for calling. Thank you to Eazy-G, Eric Gagnon, for being here with us earlier. And if you missed any part of today's show, it'll be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org. And that's it for me for now. Don't forget, of course, in the morning, you got the morning show with Peter White from 7 to 9 a.m. with a replay right before this program. And tomorrow night, I'll be followed by the weekly Die-On, as I am every Thursday. So always look forward to seeing those guys. They usually pop in on here a little bit early before their show. And, all right, I'm going to get out of here. I got to drink some water. The pollen is terrible right now. It's absolutely awful. And it looks like it's going to rain. Oh, maybe that'll wash away some of the pollen. All right, I'll talk at y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.
IPMNation.com.